Hello guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening everyone. It's Singh here. So I'm gonna have a futures ES futures review for the coming week starting from 31st of January. We're gonna start again as usual, top down approach, no change in the approach. I'm gonna have a discussion about a larger time frame, and then we're gonna have some discussion about market profile, nuances, and what is happening in the market from technical perspective and a little bit of fundamental perspective. So let's start the ES chart from monthly time frame. As we had a discussion last time that the market has been one time framing on monthly time frame and has been quite bullish without breaking any previous low of the month, and now we see that the trend has broken here. Here it was breached, and then again there was a last push to the upside, and we see this 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, right, seventh month. So market has been in a 6 to 7 months time frame, rotating between 4,700 800 level and 4,200 level. So market is not going anywhere, so market is in a balance at this point of time. So from balance perspective, what happens? Market stays in a balance and break the try to look above the balance, see if it has potential to trade higher. If not, if it falls within the balance, then the potential destination becomes the other end of the balance, and that's what we see here from a monthly time frame. So of course, once this breaches, this becomes the potential target. So now what market has did here from monthly time frame perspective, retested 6 months balance and then has bounced back sharply on last Friday. So this is on a monthly time frame. Looking at a weekly time frame, the same story. uh, Market has been in a weekly balance here, and then the balance weekly balance was breached, 4500 level was breached, and then moved trigger to the downside and retested this particular location again, and now we see that price has started moving higher. Although on a weekly time frame market is still trending lower, there is no change from weekly time frame perspective. Weekly time frame perspective, market still remains in a downward trend unless market start trading right above this level next week. That will trigger a first change in the weekly time frame. So this level is very important, 4445.50. If market start trading right above this level, that is the sign of a change in weekly time frame, right? So we will have to monitor this level, and not only trading right above it, but we'll have to ensure it closes right above it for the next move higher, close to the 4650 or 4660. We have a gap here. Coming back to the daily time frame, so as you can see on a daily time frame, market has been in a balance in this particular zone. Balance breached, started trending lower. Again, now market is forming a balance on a daily time frame. So last week we have seen a violent moves between 4445 level and 4200 level. So there has been a lot of back and forth movement where buyers do not want to give away 4200 levels. At the same time, sellers are trying to protect their positions as they have sold, and the short sellers want to protect their position, so they have been keep knocking the price back and forth to the downside. However, this VWAP, this was at 4272. I think prior to last week, it is finding a very good support on a daily time frame. Um, so at this point of time, as we can see on a smaller time frame, on a daily time frame, market is still in a balance stage. So there has not been any change in the trend. It is still in a balance on a daily time frame as well. So what happens if market try to break out of this balance, then the move could trigger a little bit higher, and if it get a resistance, then market might fall down a little bit to the lower side. We will discuss all these nuances in our market profile. So here is the magic chart. Um so as you can see, I keep a track of lot of levels. So let's look at the market profile nuances a little bit in more granular detail from intraday perspective. This is the balance area on the higher side, and this is the balance area on the lower side. So what market is trying to do, market is trying to go the end of the balance, look above, fail, and trigger the move to the downside. Then this was the first balance, look below, fail, and then again went to the upside, got a resistance on the other end of the balance, again move triggered down. And here yesterday on Friday, uh, market actually um, uh, could not it could not able to break the overnight low, and from there it bounced back, making a poor low uh, at this particular point of uh, price level. So this poor low means the way the way that I consider poor low, that means at this point of time, at this point of price level, seller has no interest to sell. It's a bad price, so supply has been shut, and once supply is shut, you see a move to the upside, because the major players are not interested to uh, sell at these prices. So what happens? Again, the balance rules. Once it fails to trade below overnight low, expect price to trade back to the other end of the balance, and this is what normally happens um, on the balance side, right? Now, what do we expect for the next week? Next week, as we have discussed, that daily time frame looks quite bullish based on the kind of candlestick pattern that it has, but it has made a huge imbalance move right at the half an hour period of trading. Now, what happens most of the time, the price retraces back to this particular area throughout the overnight session, and then in the RTS session, we see what is the potential trade opportunities, right? So let's say if overnight is trading lower on the Monday, um, because they will have to ensure that some area, not necessarily they will have to come down all the way to 4380, but what happens, some area of this spike zone, it gets try they try to repair, right, the overnight traders. And 4325 is the area where a lot of volume has been traded. If price goes back down, and then in the London session there could be a possibility of V-shaped recovery coming back to 4423, and might be to start trading a little bit higher, and then we might have to see what happens in the RTS session, whether the balance market is able to trade right above 4425 level, or it fails. If market opens, let's say if overnight session is already trading lower and RTS session start trading below spike base, that is sort of a bearish nature of price action. That means uh, the price, this imbalance which was created, a lot of buyers bought it in this imbalance. Now this is a strong rejection of higher prices, and market can start trading to the other end of the balance, and repair this poor low, which is at 4283.25, right? That will be also sign of rejection of the high balance. But if price is just trading here, the market opens within this spike zone, that is consider the acceptance of higher prices level. That means the spike which was created on the Friday uh, has not cut the buying enough because of lack of time. So that means price still might trade a little bit higher. Now the volume has started declining because there has been a lot of volume has been being traded when the sell-off was happening. Now the volume is start declining. So when volume start declining, what happens in the volume decline? So sellers do not have much interest to participate, so buyers just keep buying. So there are a couple of levels that we have where buyers can took out if they maintain 4380 level as support, and then the next level that they will have to ensure that they maintain a support at 4425. This is also a sort of trend line. It's in confluence to the trend line. Then they will have to ensure that they break of this 4446.25, which I believe might act as a short-term resistance, and then price start might trading lower. And this might happen if, let's say, in the Monday overnight session traders are trading higher, somewhere here we might get a resistance, and then in London session we might see a little bit of knockdown, and again the price coming back somewhere in 4425. So 4425 remains the pivot for the London session. Wherever price goes, price most likely to come back to this level to correct the inventory position by London opening market time. We do have a gap. So next level of resistance is 4469. This is the spike bottom that we have the other day when the sell-off happened. As we could see, the market tried to trade the following day of sell-off, but could not really stay and then fall down big time to the downside. So this resistance still maintained as 4469, then 4487. So we expect the sellers who have built the position in this particular area, they will have to we will have to see whether they come back on Monday, knock down the prices back to 4380, and potentially could trade lower, or the buyers comes and they feel that um, they will have to take the prices higher. So the next strong resistance is 4514. These are the single prints, 4536, and the strongest resistance is at 4549. So sometimes what happens, the market makers, when they created all these kind of imbalance move, they actually have certain locations to define, to target, and most often though these guys, they target these single print levels to trade back, like 4514, 4536, and then we might see some sort of resistance. So that is what I'm actually sort of expecting. And then we do have some gap on at 4660, which at some point will be repaired. The market will trade back. So the possibility next week, the possibility could be the breakout of this balance happens, and then price trade throughout next week, fill the gap, and probably then again we have impulsive move to the downside, because monthly time frame and weekly time frame is monthly time frame is in a downtrend, and there is a possibility that once the gap fills, the price might retest at least this particular balance, which is at 4425 level. So I do not really expect much of bullish move, so as called. A lot of people might be thinking, what happened probably in the past will happen now as well. Sorry, my level. although I do not really want to, at the same time, there is a history, right? So you look at historical patterns. This was the balance in the month of December, and price started trading lower at a low volume and then came down. Again, buyers stepped in. I think this was the power time when Powell was speaking, and then the market start trading higher. Overnight, boys came and they thought that the price is, or the market is very bullish, and then at the same time, the price was slashed back in another 2 3 trading session to retest the lower end of this balance. And this is something that we might see happening, because larger time frame, guys, we will have to always consider in our mind. uh, but of course, if you guys have to be bullish, you will have to be bullish somewhere in the bottom or above end of the balance. If price start trading lower, then you will have to ensure you exit from your position, because the target of your these sellers could be taking out the low of this. uh, 4280 was the important support that I have mentioned in my previous market analysis, that I've shared in the word format. And market has found a support very well at this level. Buyers have initiated buying, but not to the scale that normally it should be. So buyers definitely are there, but I'm not really seeing that great amount of buying yet. Maybe some traders will start buying um, once this balance breakout happens. That will be visible through the uh, tools that we have, right? So that is the sort of analysis for the next week. I hope you guys enjoyed. Um, if you like the video, please do like and share. Although I'm not really fussy about these things, but if you like, share, probably it will reach out to the other audience as well. Thank you very much, guys, and have fun.